How many times have we all been to networking events and people talk about themselves and they get the card out? It's so off-putting.
Joanna Scott-Aspray is the Cheshire Business Connector, the unstoppable force behind the Cheshire Club, one of the region's fastest growing and most influential business networks. Do you believe that old saying then, your network is your net worth, is that right?
Absolutely 100%. But I think the biggest thing that people need to realise is they've got to be in the right rooms.
Joanna has helped countless entrepreneurs to scale, succeed and get seen while navigating her own personal challenges. Did you ever feel like you wouldn't be able to carry on with the business?
Absolutely. I was struggling at one point and I just didn't know what to do.
I'm Nicola Sands, and in this episode of Success Means Business, Joanna gets real about what it takes to grow your business, make connections, and the do's and don'ts of networking. Welcome to the podcast, Joanna.
So lovely to be here. Thank you for asking me.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, I have known you for a long time. The whole time I've known you, you've been involved in business connecting, networking, bringing people together, bringing businesses together. But I've never asked you this before, actually. What inspired you to get into that business in the first place?
Gosh, I think, to be perfectly honest, it was from a personal perspective. I just couldn't find anything that I really liked to go and obviously be part of in the groups that were around at the time. So I just thought I can do these myself, and most probably better.
You have got some experience in organising events though, haven't you? Or you did have some before you started.
Yes. So I suppose the natural progression was that I should have been doing more those events. But I just felt there was a real lack in the market of proper, real fun networking events around. So I actually started one up myself, and it was a completely different concept to what we do now. But it was just great. It was fun. And that's all I did when we first started out.
What do you think makes a really good networking event?
I think it's the relaxed atmosphere. I know for sure from the feedback from people that they just want to feel at ease. Not this where they're all worried and having to stand up and do a pitch. So I think it's really is about, there's a few things, but I think the main one is to feel relaxed. But I do think people want to go away and feel really empowered and uplifted. So we do try our best on those. But yeah, and obviously the food.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's always nice. It's always nice to have some nice brunch or something like that. But do you think anybody can be a good networker? Do you think everybody should do it?
I think everyone needs to do it. I think there's a stigma attached to networking in that I think there's that many groups that do it a certain way that are very formal and people get scared. But actually when it's done the right way, it's fun. It opens up so many avenues and connections and friendships. So I do actually believe that everyone needs to network if they're in business. It opens many, many doors if it's done correctly.
Yeah, I mean, do you believe that old saying then, your network is your net worth, is that right?
Absolutely 100%. I think the biggest thing that people need to realise is they've got to be in the right rooms with the right people. And that can be quite hard sometimes because, you've got to go and experience these things and it can be quite a time-consuming thing, but it is worth it.
What would you say are the red flags with networking then, Joanna? What should you not do?
Firstly, I'd always say don't shove a card in someone's face. How many times have we all been to networking events and people talk about themselves and they get the card out? It's so off-putting. I don't know what you feel when you go, but I know that is one thing that really puts me off.
Yeah, I mean, we've all met those people who literally just talk about themselves all the time. And, it's about being curious as well, isn't it? You need to...
Yeah. I always say, just say nothing and listen. You learn so much more from listening at these things than actually talking about yourself. Because when the time is right, there will be a time and then you can actually say what you do when you're asked. Or, of course, you can follow up which a lot of people don't follow up. It amazes me. They go to these events, they pay to come, they invest the time, and then they don't follow up.
Gosh. Do you think like introverted people can be good networkers, or do you have to be an extrovert to be able to do it, to be able to get out there? And
I think anyone can be a good networker. It actually depends what you're looking for and what the actual plan is with your business. So 9 times out of 10, the people that come to the Cheshire Club need the visibility, but also they need that growth, but they need the confidence and the support. So anyone can come. I would say even a small business, when they're actually worried about coming, we're so welcoming. But I do truly believe anyone can be a good networker, as long as they don't talk about themselves all the time. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, we have, as we say, we have always met those people who do that, but I'd say they're in the minority.
Absolutely.
The Cheshire Club is growing very fast, isn't it? I mean, what are your plans for growth?
Oh, there's lots of things going on behind the scenes right now. Anything to do with visibility is the number one thing. So we are looking at the speaking school now, which is going to be helping people elevate the voice, be that on camera or doing these kinds of things.
You've always been a real advocate for people showing up and talking about what they do publicly and having that visibility, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Would you say that's more important than it's ever been with the digital revolution and people putting things online?
Yes, and I do think that, just going back a little bit on this, when any business owner, everything has to be correct before they go visible. Everyone goes on about, I've got to be out there and visible, but actually many aren't ready. Now that can be, someone may ask me, what does that mean? It means by just their professional photographs, their bios, what their message is, everything like that has to come together correctly before you go visible.
So you have to make sure you've got all your ducks in the row before you kind of launch yourself online and become visible.
Absolutely. So this is why I also do the mentoring and help people with that. I can strip everything back and analyse the business and start again. Or I can help them with, say, plans that they've got moving forward. And we're going to be launching our own podcasts in the new year. It's just anything about getting people out there so that they are completely visible. And obviously we do workshops as well. So we are very different to normal networking groups. We're really changing things at the moment.
You work with a lot of small businesses. What would you say are the biggest mistakes that small businesses make when they're starting out and they want to grow?
I think obviously 9 times out of 10 the money's tight, so I think they do think twice before they do things. But I think the main thing, I'll always come back to it, is you've got to be out meeting people all the time, and it's tiring. It can be quite tiring to keep that up. But I think the number one thing that all businesses actually have a mistake with is they don't follow up. I've just said it before, and the amount of people that say, I'll do it next week, and I'll actually ask some of the members, and sometimes they're just very busy. But I do feel that that's the number one blunder in networking, is people don't follow up.
You mean follow up on the connections that they've made? Yeah, so they need to kind of make sure that they don't just speak to somebody, make a connection and then forget about them.
Yeah, because we're all busy. Let's be honest. We all get very busy, don't we? But it is worth actually making a plan and connecting with those people afterwards.
Have you got any particular stories about connections that have really taken off and made a big difference to any of the businesses that you've worked with?
I know there's been a lot of friendships made in the group, which is so, I just love it. There's been some lovely events that have taken place between members. Success stories. There's quite a lot of collaborations that go on as well. So like photographers and stylists, and I'm just trying to think.
And they create their own events together when they've met through the group. Yes, I have seen that. And you organise, of course, some really big events in Cheshire, which you're very well known for. How do you know where to start with organising these? Because you do the Cheshire Club Business Awards, you've organised a festival. These are not small scale events.
Oh,
How
my
do you know where
goodness.
to start with these?
Well, it goes back to me getting a job at 18 in an events office as a junior, and I just got promoted really quickly. And yeah, I went to events coordinator within a couple of weeks. And it was just a mad time. I had 2 years of up and down the UK with the Gladiators. And it was just the best time. It was really hard work, really hard. But my boss at the time was an amazing events manager. And I learned everything from her, just like the quality and just everything that has to be just so in events. And
so she was like a mentor to you.
And it's just carried on with me all this way. I was made redundant, unfortunately, but it was an amazing time to have dipped my toe in, and I went off to do other things. But I knew deep down it was always there. You know, the events thing, the challenge, it's a challenge to me. Even though it's hard, it's actually the challenge that I love. And it's, I've just got better and better with them, I think.
Yeah, and they're going from strength to strength, aren't they? The events that you organise. Do you ever think, oh my gosh, is this one going to work out? It must be really stressful, you know, when you've got a big event coming up.
I've got a great story on that. I'm being transparent, but when I started the awards, I paid my deposit at the venue, and I'd got this idea in my head. And I actually said to my other half, I hope people turn up. Because you just don't know, do you? You can have all the ideas in the world. But I saw this little gap in the market in Cheshire that I don't think there's many awards at all in Cheshire, you know, that are really, you know, signature awards. So I paid that deposit, and I was just worrying the whole time, and I needn't have worried because we did fill the venue out. But it's just gone from strength to strength, and I can say to you today that we've actually sold out. And we've doubled capacity for this year's.
Amazing. Well, they say fortune favours the brave, don't they?
Yeah.
So can we talk a bit about your life as a businesswoman and, you know, being a businesswoman over 40? Are you still as ambitious as you've ever been?
I think I'm more ambitious. I think it's personal circumstances. You know, I'm in a better place personally. And I feel like I can just be myself, and I get a lot of support from my family and friends, and I am so not ready to stop. I'm just not even getting started yet. So I would say so.
You're doing amazingly, but you had a very difficult few years because you were looking after your mum, weren't you, at the same time as running a growing business. And that is an issue that a lot of women have, you know, sandwich generation, looking after children. Looking after parents, trying to run a business as well. How did you manage that?
Phew. I don't actually know how I managed it. It's one of those. I do want to start to talk about this. I really want to get the message out, because not many people talk about running a business and caring. In fact, I would even say I didn't use that title. I was not a carer at the time, but now I realise I was. That maybe doesn't make sense, but I just didn't see it like that. It was very, very hard. Juggling what was right for my mum and my dad at the time. But I think it was just my love for them both. It just kept me going.
Did you ever feel like you wouldn't be able to carry on with the business because the demands of caring were too much?
Absolutely. I was struggling at one point, and I just didn't know what to do. But I think the one thing I would say is I kept it going, but obviously I most probably would have progressed that had I not had that natural progression of having to deal with that. I think I would have been a lot further on in my business than what I am now. But I'm a true believer in timings. It wasn't meant to be just then. So this is my time now.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes I think, you know, women of a certain age, it's almost like the fire chapter. Everything you've experienced before, all the experience, the caring, the previous jobs, the previous relationships, it's all fuel for the fire
100%.
going forward.
I can't ever say that I regret doing this. It was the hardest thing I think I've ever done in my life. You know, when it's such a progressive illness, both of them.
Yeah, your mum had dementia.
She had dementia, and my dad had Parkinson's. But I can truly say I'm glad it happened in a way, because it just makes you think very differently. But I also feel I've taken a lot of strength from what I did.
What do you think they would think about all the success you're having at the moment with the Cheshire Club and with everything else you're doing?
My dad was my biggest cheerleader. And I say to Paul all the time, if he was here now, he'd be saying how proud he is of me. My dad was more of the entrepreneurial side. He had a fantastic business. Many years ago, he was importing cards from New York. He had a brilliant setup with his greeting card business, and he sold Wallace and Gromit merchandise. That's what he did, and made a lot of money from it at the time. My mum was the homemaker. So even though, as lovely as she wasn't the type to push me. You know, she just wanted me to be happy and make a nice home. And whereas my dad was the one that would say, go out there and do something great for yourself.
So you've inherited your entrepreneurial spirit from your dad, but you've also got that nurturing side.
Yes. It's a great mix.
Yeah, which has obviously been great for the networking side of things.
Well, my dad always laughed because very early on in my school reports, I was classed as mother hen.
Really?
And I always say this, it comes back round because I do love tending to my brood. I do. I'm in my element when that happens.
Do you feel like you're in a new phase now?
Yeah, definitely. Things are shifting. I feel things are a lot more positive. And I feel like I can really concentrate on what I'm doing now. Whereas before I had a lot of distractions. So, I feel like I really know where I'm going and what I'm doing.
And you're engaged to Paul?
Yes.
How does Paul feel about your networking career? Is he supportive with it all?
Oh, extremely, yeah. I mean, he's always been supportive. And
how important is it to have a partner that supports you when you are trying to run a business like this?
It has to happen. You can't, otherwise it just wouldn't work. The amount of time and effort that you put into your business, you know, if someone didn't understand, it would cause friction. Paul has always been there, and he's been there for us as a family with my mum and dad. And I mean, we work very well together in the fact that he's actually in hospitality himself. So we sort of understand each other very well.
How did you meet him?
We met online.
Oh, very modern way of meeting.
Yeah,
yes.
No, we met online. And the nice part about it was we didn't actually meet for a couple of weeks because we were both really busy. I had 2 big events. I had my Ascot Day, which I know you've been to before.
That was amazing. Yeah, that was an amazing event. I loved it.
And I also was working for Steve Norman just down the road, Spanner Valley. So and he was doing his things. So we actually, the lovely thing was we spoke on the phone every day after work, and we got to know each other on the phone calls really. And then we did the doggy dates because he had a dog and I had a dog. So it was just really natural.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about online dating in general? It's obviously worked out very well for you, but...
I think we were lucky.
Yes.
Really. Yeah. When I hear of some of the stories that, you know, my friends have gone through, or, you know, all this catfishing and, my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't honestly, no, I don't think I would ever do it again if you know, and not that I would, but, you know, if I was in that predicament, I don't think I'd ever do it again.
Do you know, I heard something recently online, and entrepreneurs say that the most important business decision you'll ever make is who your partner is, who you spend your life with. Would you agree with that?
I think so. I mean, I'm sure you think the same, but I do truly think if someone was jealous or holding you back or not getting what you're trying to do or your vision, it's not going to work, is it?
No. I mean, you've got an awful lot of members in your networking club now.
Yes.
Do you ever feel spread a bit thin because, you attend so many of the events as well? I know you have some people helping you with those, but you are the face of the Cheshire Club. Do you ever feel, I'm spread a bit thin here?
I do, but I think it's got better since we've done the different locations, and we've obviously got our their own boss, so they've got their own events, and they're hosting those brunch clubs. It's the messages and the emails, but it comes with what I do. And I think I'm my own worst enemy because everything has to be 110% perfect. That is where I fall down.
You've got perfectionist tendencies.
Yeah, so I must make a lot of work for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a saying, isn't there? So done is better than perfect. And
Yeah.
I think I completely understand what you're saying, because I think I can be a bit like that. And I know Steve, my husband and business partner,
And a
he
bit
definitely
of OCD,
is.
Yeah,
You want everything just so.
Yeah.
But sometimes, it's better to get it out there and just do it.
Absolutely, yeah. And, I put a lot of effort into the Creme de la Creme Business Awards. It is the main sort of event of the year for us.
Do you get nervous beforehand?
I did. Now I'm getting better with this. Not nervous about the event because I have a way of dealing with it in that from everything from organising it through to on the stage, and it unravels in my head like a story. So that's why, touch wood, I will never forget anything, because I just start from the very beginning and I actually pretend I'm in that event. So I'm living it already, and I know how everything's going to pan out. So, and this might surprise you, but I don't write anything down.
Well,
it's all up here.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, that's better, because I think, writing stuff down sometimes puts more pressure on you, because then you have to memorize everything. And
we were talking about that before, weren't we?
It's a bit like the advice I give to people who are doing on-camera interviews or podcasts. I say, don't overthink it. Don't write everything down, because then you're making yourself have to memorize everything, and that's a pressure.
Oh, absolutely. But I think for me, it's just I've done it that many times. Starting events at 18, it's like riding a bike almost. I know what I need to do. But equally, you were saying before about I'd done the festival as well. There's two things.
You did a Cheshire Club festival. You Fest. It was all about you. It was a great name, You Fest.
It really was. And the funny thing was, it was all about health and well-being. But I just wanted to go in a dark room afterwards and fall over. It was so stressful. Amazing event.
Massive event. Really good.
I do this to myself. I put myself in a challenge predicament because I work better. And people are like, we're doing another one. Not at the moment, but you never know, do you?
Yeah. Maybe it's one of those events that you could do maybe biannually, or every few years instead of every year.
Yeah. But I don't really get nervous anymore because I've just done them that many times. I just see it as a challenge, but equally as a real blessing that we can do these and people are loving them.
How do you protect your own personal peace, though, and your own... how do you prevent burnout?
It's a really great question for me, this, because in the last sort of few months, because I lost Mum only 6 months ago, people have been saying this more and more to me, and it was staring me in the face, but I actually have not been doing self-care whatsoever. And it's something that I'm really starting to educate myself on and try to be better. So I've had Reiki, I do the meditations, I've got things that I put on before I go to sleep. But I can't keep still, and my brain doesn't switch off. I'm just not the best at it.
Do you go through lists in bed at night thinking about what you've got to do the next day?
You mentioned Paul before. I mean, he needs some ear defenders at night, because I come out with some crazy things. We're lying there in the dark going to sleep, and I'm like, oh, I'm this and I'm this, and honestly, and he's like, I'm trying to go to sleep. But it's just my mind's ticking over all the time.
Yeah. Even though you've been doing this job for such a long time and you know it inside out, does it still excite you as much as it always has?
It excites me more than ever before.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that excites me is the magic in the connection. And it may sound a bit cheesy, but actually watching people from afar when they've done the connection and then where it goes, it does feel magic.
Like that ripple effect.
Yeah.
You've introduced people and you see how that helps them.
Absolutely. And I love it. I can't get enough of it. And I always say I'm not working. It's hard work, but I don't feel I work a day in my life.
And I love the way how you always encourage people to get up and speak, particularly women, because, I think women can sometimes lose a bit of confidence with getting up and speaking, perhaps if they've been out of the workplace for a while or gone through menopause. There's all kinds of issues that can affect confidence. And you really encourage women in particular to stand up and speak and be heard. Do you think that's really, really important to really get people to stand up and speak? Yeah,
I do. I mean, my approach is I would never force anyone to stand up. I know that you've been to the events and, we are careful in how we say that. If you want to stand up, you can, but you don't have to. But there's always a way around that. If they're not sure, maybe first visit, come back. But also you can do the one-to-one introductions. But the speakers themselves, I always try to get people that are going to enlighten you, uplift you for when you go home, and just
add value.
Add value, but just makes you think, doesn't it? You just don't want somebody just to come in and it's the same old. So, I work hard at that side.
Yeah, I mean, some of the speakers that you've had at your events have been amazing. How do you find them?
It's a case of I think the name is good, the brand, and, it's just a case of introducing the brand, saying exactly what we are achieving and where we're going with it, and people 9 times out of 10 just jump on. They want to be part of it.
Oh, that's really good. So you would say you do practice what you preach then? You get out there and you meet people and you make your own connections as well?
Absolutely. I mean, I want to start doing a little bit more networking, and because it helps. No matter what happens, it helps. It's got that ripple effect, like you said, in that whoever I meet, this can help my members.
So sometimes now when you meet people, do you think, oh, I know someone who this person could help? Do you do a lot of introductions that way?
Yeah, I can do. And sometimes it doesn't happen instantly. So it can be a case of writing something down or remembering, and then it's all about timing, isn't it? Yeah. And it might be in a couple of months' time, I can then think, right, that person is actually right for that person, and so on. Yeah.
Would you say it's a good idea for people to come to networking events on their own? Because if you bring somebody that quite often the tendency is to speak to that person. What's your advice on that?
I think it's really nice if you come with a colleague or a friend, but I do try and encourage again at the event that you try and move away from that person and sit on a different table. So sometimes we do like challenges at the events, so it gets you talking to somebody that you've never spoken to before.
Yeah,
which is great. Idea. We did a great one last week at the Breakfast Club, and that's really created some really great energy. But also, people are going to be meeting up afterwards.
And what advice would you give to people about who they talk to? Do you think people should try to talk to at least, I don't know, say 5 different people?
Yeah, I think it depends on that person and what they're looking for at that time. Some people just like to come out and have a nice something to eat and get social. And then some people are coming out specifically to look for something that they're going to be doing in the business. Okay. So it really does depend on what your circumstances are.
I'm going to ask you a question now though, Joanna. If somebody is hogging your time and they're just kind of transmitting to you almost, how do you smoothly get away from that person to be able to move on to somebody else?
It's really easy this, I've got limited time today. It's been wonderful to speak to you, but I really need to speak to the room. and other people.
That's really good.
Just be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good
And they
way.
would appreciate and respect you for saying that, because that's what we're there for.
To talk to different people. I heard that the royal family, actually, when they do these banquet dinners, they talk to one person for one course and then another person for another course.
I didn't know that.
I thought that's quite a good way of doing it as well. I'd never thought of that before.
We have done the tables swaps and chair swaps. Some people like it, and some people like to feel they're relaxed and where they are. So we do mix it up there with the challenges every now and again, which I think really work well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I remember when I was at work, when I was at ITV, I had you very quickly find out who your people are, who your friends are.
You do, don't you?
And then I kind of had a bit of a eureka moment one day and thought, I really need to make the effort to get to know other people and not just stick with this group.
Yes.
And when I did, it really paid dividends.
It's good that you actually acknowledge that in the first place, because a lot of people don't even see that, do they? They're comfortable in their group or their bubble.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing I'd always say is push yourself out of your comfort zone, and you just don't know what magic is going to happen.
Success happens outside your comfort zone.
Without a doubt.
It really does. And actually, you're missing out if you don't do that.
I think so. I mean, I think everyone should at least experience, a networking event. They have got a bit of a stigma attached to them sometimes, but...
Why is that?
I just think the early days, everyone was had to be a certain way, and the referrals and like the formal sort of approach, and it just doesn't have to be like that. But I think people have got a bit scared.
Being natural and letting things happen organically is much better, isn't it? I mean, maybe earlier networking events were a bit forced. I
think so. And I think, and just be real, this thing, and you'll know this on, social media and videos and things. Those days have gone now where you have to be absolutely perfect.
Absolutely. People are hungry for authenticity, genuine, natural connection.
Don't you think people relate to people more when it's more natural?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. And I think, audience can sense fakeness, really. And also, we'll get saturated by AI content as well, which can be a little bit homogenous. And when you see real people and that genuine connection, that really makes a difference.
And I think even when you do a blunder or it's not quite perfect, no one's being nasty, but I do truly believe people like that, because they think, you know what, that could be me, and that they relate to it a lot more, don't they?
That's that human element. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So can I ask you then, Joanna, what are your plans for the future? I know you've got a few more plans in place, a few more irons in the fire. Is there anything you can tell us about today?
Yeah, I thought I'd leave the last one for the best for last, really. We've been working on something quietly behind the scenes.
You and Paul?
Yeah, we're really, really proud to announce that we're going to be launching our own Cheshire Club gin.
Yay!
People must be going to say, what the heck, why?
Yeah,
but
why gin?
Well, obviously, I think everyone likes a gin, don't they?
Definitely.
Yeah. There was a few reasons, really. I think it's incredibly good for my visibility, which is what I'm all about.
Yeah.
So that label will be everywhere. The plan is to get it into bars, stores, but also one of the biggest things for us was we're always on the lookout for drink sponsors for events. And we can sponsor our own events now.
I mean, and it aligns so well with your brand, which is so sociable.
Yes.
And it's great. Perfect.
Yeah. So, so the awards, we are our drink sponsor for that. It's just something that we've always fancied doing.
How did you develop the gin then? Did you have to do a lot of tasting and a lot of mixing and all that kind of thing?
We've been to a distillery. It was very important to us to have it distilled in Cheshire. We wanted that element, obviously because of the name.
What's it called?
It's called the Cheshire Club Gin, and then it's Signature Blends.
Brilliant. I love it.
And the label, it's all been amazing. We've utilised our members at Bollington Print, so they've done the labels. And it's just been a lovely, it's hard because you've got to keep it a secret, but it's just been a really nice journey. And yeah, we developed it at the distillery.
And it's part of the continuing journey of you as an entrepreneur as well, Joanna.
Absolutely.
Because not only have you got your service industry, you've also got a product now, which is brilliant. It's like developing a whole ecosystem around the Cheshire Club, which is amazing.
So we're launching the Cheshire Dry to start with, and then we're going to be doing small batches of different flavours. And Paul's going to be the main man for obviously running it, really. But yeah.
And the Cheshire Club will continue to grow, and you will continue to encourage people to network.
Absolutely. Just get those connections in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, finally, just one piece of advice to anybody thinking who might be a bit shy about attending a networking event. What's your advice to them?
I have a few people that tend to be shy, and, some of them actually do message me and say, what should I expect or what's going on? I even meet them at the door, because I've been there once. It's a bit overwhelming sometimes, but just come, just take the leap and do it. You will not regret. Even if it's not mine, just go and be in a space, because it will, that particular day, whatever mood you're in, it will definitely uplift you and help you on your journey as an entrepreneur.
Thank you so much, Joanna. It's been brilliant to speak to you today.
It's been brilliant. I've loved it.
Thank you so much. Success Means Business is brought to you by Applehead Media.